The future of cities, how technology will change urban life. When we think about the year 2050, the majority of us probably picture science fiction adaptations from movies. These adaptations portray a world where flying cars and other gadgets are commonplace. Although it is acceptable to predict that life will become increasingly entwined with advanced technology, it is also necessary to acknowledge that sustainability will likely be the most important issue in the future. Smart technology, organic sourcing, and an emphasis on natural resources are all terms that are currently fashionable, and these terms may become the primary themes of life, more out of necessity than out of favor. How likely is it that the communities of the year 2050 will have the following characteristics? Densely packed cities. It is estimated that metropolitan regions will be home to 70% of the 9 billion people that will exist in the year 2050. In the urban areas of the future, the population density will be higher than it has ever been before. To lessen the negative consequences of population growth, you should anticipate a higher focus being placed on the supply of accessibility to citizens and the quality of life that they enjoy. This enhanced accessibility will likely include simpler access to technology, nature, desired services, and almost any other area of life that has the potential to improve one's quality of life. Accessibility will reach an all-time high to ensure the continued prosperity of urban areas. In the future, there will be an even larger demand for environmentally responsible activities as the population continues to grow. It will be necessary to have teamwork on a citywide and even global scale to prevent legitimate concerns about pollution, harmful air quality, resource shortages, and a great deal more. Urban hubs. Because of the increased population density that will be present in cities of the future, it will be necessary to build more localized communities. The urban encroachment that is currently common will be intended to be reversed for this project. The process of growth and development that occurs across huge land masses with a low population density but significant environmental repercussions is referred to as sprawl. As an illustration, the most common type of growth is commonly known as suburbanization. It is difficult to argue that these suburban regions are sufficient to counteract the negative impacts on the environment and resources, even though they can provide some economic development. If you continue to practice sprawl, you will cause irreparable harm to the environment, you will exhaust the available area, and you will experience terrible shortages of resources. It is simply not sustainable. There is a constant outward development in the areas surrounding any large city, particularly in the United States. This is especially true in the case of the United States. It is quite likely that urban hubs, which are communities that are localized and consist of mixed-use structures and developments, will be the most effective approach to addressing this problem by the year 2050. As an alternative to a single city core, a city can have around 5 urban hubs that are dispersed over the surrounding area. Architects will design buildings that serve several purposes, such as homes, workplaces, social gathering places, and agricultural activities, among other things. As a consequence, a comprehensive localized community is produced, which incorporates all of the essential components required to maximize the utilization of space and reduce the carbon imprint of each member. The application of contemporary technology will play a significant role in enhancing the functionality and enjoyment of communities and buildings within them. The presence of urban centers also enables us to predict the presence of more integrated communities that are diverse in terms of age, social status, and other variables. Refined transportation. In the year 2050, it is anticipated that the transportation sector will go through a comprehensive revolution, as one might imagine. On the other hand, it is highly improbable that the outcome will be the same as what the majority of us had anticipated. Self-driving cars are currently the subject of conversation, yet it is possible that their future in practice will not be as promising as what is being discussed. Even though zero-emission vehicles are achievable, there are potential risks associated with their use from a sustainability perspective. Regardless of whether or not these vehicles are emission-free, there is a significant decrease in city efficiency, and this hinders the adoption of alternative modes of transportation. They also use a considerable amount of resources, which is another disadvantage. By the year 2050, it is anticipated that the number of streets will have decreased as people will prefer alternate modes of transportation and expanded pedestrian space. Because of the amount of space that they take up and the possible adverse consequences that they can have, automobiles are in direct opposition to the idea of reducing congestion and enhancing the urban experience. There is a good chance that they will continue, although it is quite unlikely that they will continue to the extent that we would anticipate. Smart cities. The potential of technology in the year 2050 to support sustainability will be of the utmost importance. Because the IT industry is already becoming more active, it is projected that this trend will continue. Intelligent technology will be the primary impetus behind the development of cities. It will enable individuals to connect in ways that have never been seen before, thereby improving the quality of life in urban areas. To achieve efficiency, which will be of utmost importance, automation and artificial intelligence will be of great assistance. There is a good chance that they will serve as the basis for both the economy and the existence of people in general. Increase biodiversity and revamp resources. The lack of available resources is one of the most critical obstacles that the process of population growth around the world must overcome. Taking all of this into consideration, it is not unreasonable to believe that by the year 2050, cities will be completely self-sufficient. At the very least, this is the goal. Through the promotion of the preservation of local ecology and the enhancement of their environmental sustainability, cities will demonstrate an improved level of biodiversity among their inhabitants. There will be a major increase in the protection of the natural environment, and it is envisaged that the city and the areas surrounding it will serve as primary sources of resource production. In addition to this, it incorporates more forward-thinking approaches to the generation of resources, such as vertical farming, subterranean farming, and rooftop farming. Currently, several different concepts for vertical agriculture are being developed. Even though there is still a great deal of work to be done, this will be possible in the future to the extent that additional technological improvements are made. It will be necessary to make a major increase in the amount of protection that is provided for natural surroundings in and around cities. For cities to be able to accommodate the expanding population, they will be required to become sufficiently self-sufficient. Not only is this true for the sources of energy, but it is also true for the production of resources. It will be required of cities that they generate an amount of energy that is equal to the amount of energy that they use. In the future, sustainable cities will rethink the meaning of the phrase concrete jungle, converting it from a metaphorical word into a real one. Even though the characteristics that have been mentioned could give the impression of being futuristic, portions of these ideas are currently being implemented in cities all over the world. It is essential to pay special attention to several cities, both in the present and in the future, because these cities are acting as test beds for the creation of economically and environmentally sustainable cities. Because of this, we are certain that the ideas of sustainable cities will continue to develop and make it easier for future cities to be sustainable, not only in the year 2050, but also in years to come. Despite this, you are aware that the future is difficult to foresee. It is possible that there could be unforeseen changes, and the appearance of cities in the year 2050 will be drastically different from what anyone had predicted. You can never be certain. Please ensure that you are subscribed to our channel and that you select the bell to receive notifications when a new video is available. Tap the like button if you found the video enjoyable. Thank you for viewing. I hope you have a wonderful day and look forward to seeing you shortly.